Well, the Department of Education has confirmed that supplementary exams will no longer take place in March, but rather in June 2019. For more on this, we're joined by Elijah Mhlanga, the national spokesperson for the Department of Basic Education. Good evening, sir. Thanks very much for coming through. Take us through the reasons, again, for this move.
Well, the reasons are that we thought it was no longer economically making sense for us to continue because the numbers of people registering to write supplementary examinations had been going down over the years, and the number of those that actually came to sit for the exams was even lower, and those that were writing and passing was even half of that number. So you could see that it was no longer a viable opportunity for people to use to upgrade their marks. So we thought that as a department we needed to come up with a different way of administering this exam, which was taking place usually in the beginning of the year in February and March. But also in the process of doing the review, we came across a situation, something that I think we took for granted, the fact that you get your results in the first week of January, and in February you must come back and write again, which means you don't have much time to prepare. But we also found that a lot of people, it would take them a long time to make up their minds whether they will
want to sit for supplementary exams or not.
And we found that the circumstances that led you to failing were still prevailing. So we thought it's better if we create more time for them, but also put in place a support system to make sure that those that register are able to do so and do so with confidence.
So moving into June, you reckon, is going to make a huge difference. Talk to us about the support that you are going to put in place to make sure that these, once the pupils make up their minds about whether or not they want to write supplementary exams, what then, or how do you help them prepare for their exams?
Yeah, I think the first thing is that we don't want them to think of this as a supplementary exams anymore. It's going to be a fully fledged examination that is going to be happening in the middle of the year. So think of it that way, because supplementary exams had their own complications, and one of them is the fact that it limited you to only 2 subjects which you failed. So if you failed 3 subjects, you would only come back to write only 2. But now you can write as many as you would like. If you want to sit for the entire exam, it's up to you to do that. So that's one thing. But then those that are not able to succeed, we have the Second Chance Matric Support Program in place, which we have been going around the country to popularize, to make people aware of it, that it is there. It's supporting a lot of people already. I mean, we started in 2016 to implement it, and a lot of people are benefiting from it, and are actually now coming forward to say, I benefited from that program. So it comes in different shapes and forms. One of them is that we've got radio lessons that are available. They're available on our website, but you can go to teacher centers around the country and listen to those for free. But you can also print the material, and if the numbers make sense in the place where you are, you can arrange for contact classes where teachers can come and teach you. And all of those things are free of charge. You don't have to pay anything, and they're there all the time to support those people that really want to upgrade their marks. So that program is really going to play a critical role in making sure that those that are not able to go back into the classroom again are able to focus on those areas that have given them problems, and are now able to go back and write, and they're able to pass and go on with their own lives.
Now, one of the reasons you had said, one of the reasons you're saying necessitated this move was the cost factor.
Yeah.
Now, how is moving the exam from February, March to June address your particular cost issues?
We already had another exam that was taking place during the year. So it's now going to be merged into a single exam for everyone that had been writing in the middle of the year anyway. So instead of 2, you have 1. Okay. And we are opening up to be a bigger exam, giving more people an opportunity at a cost that will be reasonable. In fact, to us, a cost, if people are coming through to use a second opportunity to write, is not a huge factor, except that in the February-March window that was always there, people were registering and would over-prepare, and they wouldn't turn up. and those that turned up were not passing. So there it wasn't making sense. So we believe that with the support that is going to be in place and the fact that there was already an examination taking place in the middle of the year, that is going to assist us. More young people are actually coming forward to us. The minister was in the Western Cape yesterday. People are registering in large numbers saying, I want to get my matric certificate because I was not able to get it many years ago, and thank you for this opportunity that you have now to support us. So we hope that a lot more people will come forward and request to write. So the deadline for registering is the end of January next year.
Mm-hmm. How are the exams going otherwise?
The exams are going fine across the country. We haven't had any major incidents to worry us on a large scale.
Well, there's the case in Katlehong where the invigilator apparently, assisted, the learners with their exam papers.
Yeah, well, we are dealing with that. We're investigating it, and we've already taken steps to address that particular issue. Yes, there were reports that a chief invigilator went into a hall where the learners were writing and communicated with them in whatever way that he did. That is not allowed because he is also the subject teacher of that particular geography paper 1, which was being written on that day. So we've taken steps to suspend that teacher from their duty as a chief invigilator, but also the Gauteng Education Department is looking into suspending the teacher, the school principal, from his duties as a school principal. So we are taking steps, but we are investigating to establish exactly what happened, the circumstances leading to this. Witnesses will be spoken to. A final report will be compiled and given to the National Department and Umalus, of course, and then a determination will be made in terms of the future steps to be taken with regards to that particular matter. But it's only limited to that school and those learners that were exposed to that individual at the time.
So a possibility, though, exists that those learners may have to, rewrite the papers?
Well, that's one of the options that are there, but it has to be serious circumstances leading to that type of thing. But we have other options as well in terms of our regulation. So what we've done now is to take those papers from that school to the markers who will do what we call investigative marking to check if indeed there was any undue benefit that accrued to those learners. If there is, then a decision will be taken. If there's none, then another decision will be taken. But the National Examinations Irregularities Committee will make that determination at the right time.
Other than that particular case, no other?
Absolutely nothing else.
Okay, so we're going to leave it. Thanks very much for coming through. Elijah Mhlanga, who is the spokesperson for the National Department of Education.